Hey, it's Jess. Welcome back. Today I'm here with another Way Back Wednesday where I will be talking about the books that I finished in September and October of 2020. I only finished one book in October, so I figured I'd just wrap it in with this wrap up. So, looking at my stats, I read 3 books in September of 2020 and 1 book in October. All of them were new, none of them were rereads. The first book that I finished was From the Earth to the Shadows by Amanda Hocking. This is the second Valkyrie book in the duology. The last one was Between the Blade and the Heart. I had finished that in August. That was in my previous video. So this book continues to follow Malin. She is a Valkyrie in training who their job is to slay immortal beings and send them back to the underworld. And after the events that happened in the first book, she is still kind of digging into her past. Her friend from the first book, Asher, gets kidnapped or taken, and she has to go into the underworld to save him and then make hard decisions whether she wants to follow what she knows is right or what she's been, and her heart, or what she's kind of been trained to do. So it was just a short duology. I really liked it. Like I said in my last video, I love Amanda Hocking. I love everything of hers that I've read, and this was just a different world from her, other stuff that I'd read, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're kind of into like the Norse mythology, I really recommend these 2 books. I thought they were both really good. The next book I finished was Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series. And because it's the 3rd book, it's a little bit hard to talk about. You're continuing to follow Selena. And she has been the king's assassin. She has actually fought and gotten out of the city and goes to another land to learn more about her past and about her heritage. And you meet some more characters in this book. I remember really, really liking this book. I liked it much better than Crown of Midnight. And I don't know, it had a lot of action. It had some, it really moved the plot along. You meet some other more characters. Like Throne of Glass is kind of several people's storylines all mixed together. And so you meet some of these new people in Heir of Fire, and I really enjoyed this one. It's my goal this year to go back and reread Throne of Glass, and I can't wait to get back to Heir of Fire because I just remember really liking it, reading it really quickly, and enjoying the content in that one. The next and final book that I finished in September was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is a short little novella. Well, it's not super short, but it's a novella that bridges the gap. It's set in the Court of Thorns and Roses world. So it kind of bridges the gap between A Court of Wings and Ruin, which was the 3rd book, and then the 5th book, which is A Court of Silver Flames. My goodness, that was really hard for me to say for some reason. So, A Court of Frost and Starlight, it takes place over the winter solstice, so kind of like cheery holiday vibes. And again, hard to talk about because it's in the middle of a series, but there was a giant war in A Court of Wings and Ruin, and so they are rebuilding the Night Court. They are staying in this town. I think it's Valaris, I think is what it's called. But you're still following Feyre, you're following Rhysand, and some other characters. And it's kind of, Feyre is learning how to be the high lady of a court and kind of dealing with the aftermath of the battles and what it's like to be, the high lady, and how people need her, but she's trying to learn to have time for herself and still enjoy her interests. So I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like this. It really did feel like a filler book, and it really is kind of a filler book, but it was a short little read. I enjoyed reading it. And at the time I was really into ACOTAR, so it was nice to be back in that world when I didn't have anything else to kind of fill that hole. So I enjoyed that one too. And then in October, the only book that I finished was The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan, which is the first book in the Trials of Apollo. I adore Percy Jackson. I love the whole universe. I love all the characters. I have read like Percy Jackson the Olympians. I've read Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus many, many times. As you can tell, I have a whole shelf dedicated to Percy Jackson. And so I was really excited to get back into this world. So, The Hidden Oracle is you are following Apollo, the god Apollo, who has been turned into a human as punishment for his part in the war that was in the very last book in the Heroes of Olympus series. And so he gets turned into a human. He gets dropped in New York City. He doesn't know anything or know anyone. He doesn't have powers. He ends up running into Percy Jackson. I think he goes to Percy's home. And Percy takes him to Camp Half-Blood because he's like, where else am I supposed to go? I know that, people can help me there. And then once they get to Camp Half-Blood, he is given a quest and obviously other stuff happens because there's 4 more books in the series. But I really liked this. I adore Percy Jackson. I love the whole universe. I love all the characters. Rick Riordan is such a wonderful author. And I thought it was really funny hearing things from Apollo's point of view. This book is written in first person, so you're in Apollo's head. And he is very conceited, as you would imagine the god Apollo would be. And I think that Rick Riordan did a great job bringing that character out in his writing. So those are the books that I read in September and October of 2020. Have you read any of these books? Let me know. What did you think? And I'll see you in another video. All right. Bye.